Trump brings out a woman who saved his life during a rally, and what he reveals is unbelievable and will definitely shock you. The stadium buzzed with an almost palpable electricity, a blend of fervor and anticipation that seemed to vibrate through the air. However, tonight there was an undercurrent of tension that wove through the crowd, a subtle but noticeable shift in the atmosphere. Even amidst the fervent cheers and the sea of enthusiastic faces, something felt different. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar, their cheers drowning out the music as Donald Trump strode onto the stage. Trump waved to the crowd, his face beaming with his trademark confidence. For those who knew him, his demeanor tonight was different. His smile, while still broad and charismatic, held a hint of something deeper, a flicker of emotion that seemed out of place on the face of a man known for his unshakable self-assurance. Trump's speech began as it usually did, his voice booming through the speakers as he touched upon his familiar themes of American greatness and the challenges facing the nation. The crowd responded with enthusiasm, their cheers punctuating each point he made. The crowd murmured in agreement, their attention rapt as they sensed the shift in Trump's demeanor. Even the most seasoned political analysts in the press area leaned forward, their pens poised above their notepads as they anticipated something unprecedented. Suddenly, in a surprising shift, Trump paused mid-sentence. The crowd's collective curiosity was piqued as they noticed the change in his demeanor. His gaze shifted once again to the side of the stage, where his staff and aides were positioned. The energy in the arena seemed to heighten as the audience detected that a dramatic development was imminent. "Ladies and gentlemen," Trump began, his voice quivering slightly with emotion, "there's someone here tonight who means more to me than you could ever imagine. There is someone who deserves recognition for something truly incredible, something that saved my life." A hush fell over the crowd, the silence so complete that one could hear a pin drop. The atmosphere in the arena shifted from one of political fervor to one of intense personal drama. Even the most cynical members of the press corps found themselves leaning forward, captivated by the unexpected turn of events. Trump's gesture towards the side of the stage was deliberate and significant. With a sweeping motion of his arm, he indicated for someone to step into the spotlight. The crowd's attention turned to the area he had pointed out, their excitement mingling with an increasing sense of curiosity. Emily felt her knees go weak as she realized Trump was gesturing in her direction. She looked around, certain there must be some mistake, but as her colleagues gently urged her forward, the reality of the situation began to sink in. The lights on stage dimmed slightly, casting a softer glow on Emily as she began to emerge from the shadows. Her heart pounded in her chest, each step feeling like a monumental effort as she moved towards the center of the stage. The young woman stepped forward hesitantly, her movements betraying a blend of nervousness and resolve. The spotlight illuminated her as she walked towards Trump, and the audience collectively drew in a breath. This was an unexpected development, diverting the focus from Trump's usual political discourse to something profoundly personal. Emily's mind raced as she approached Trump. She was accustomed to working in the background, ensuring that everything ran smoothly from behind the scenes. Now suddenly, she found herself at the center of attention, the focus of thousands of curious eyes. Trump's voice, though still steady, carried a tone of gentle encouragement. "Come on up here," he urged, his words imbued with a warmth that contrasted with his typical rhetoric. "Don't be shy. You deserve this recognition." Emily hesitated for a moment before moving closer to Trump. Her face was a mixture of anxiety and determination, and her eyes were wide as she took in the enormity of the moment. The crowd watched in silence, the air thick with anticipation. The moment felt charged, as if everyone in the stadium sensed the significance of what was about to be revealed. As Emily reached Trump's side, he placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. The touch was both gentle and firm, a gesture that seemed to steady her nerves somewhat. Emily looked up at Trump, her eyes meeting his, and she saw something there she had never expected. A depth of emotion and gratitude that took her breath away. "This," Trump said, his voice breaking slightly with emotion, "is the woman who saved my life. What she did is something that will bring you to tears." A murmur of curiosity rippled through the crowd. The anticipation was almost tangible. What act of heroism or kindness was so significant that it warranted a sudden dramatic interruption in Trump's speech? Who could this person be? Her name was Emily Parker, a quiet and humble computer technician. Emily had worked behind the scenes at Trump rallies for years. She was responsible for managing the intricate technology that powered the visual displays, the screens, charts, and graphics that accompanied Trump's speeches. To most, her role was invisible, but it was vital to the smooth running of the events. Emily had never imagined that her work would lead her to this moment. She had always been content to stay in the background, ensuring that everything functioned perfectly. Her expertise in technology and attention to detail were what made her such a valuable asset to Trump's campaign. But on one particular night, something she did would forever change the course of events. It had started as a typical rally. Trump was on stage, delivering his speech to an enthusiastic crowd, while Emily was backstage overseeing the visual aids. That night, a specific chart she had created was scheduled to be displayed at a key moment in Trump's address. She had worked hard to ensure that it was accurate and impactful, knowing how important it was to communicate the message effectively. As Trump continued his speech, he reached the point where the chart was needed. Emily, ever vigilant, brought the visual to the screens at exactly the right moment. The chart detailed important statistics about the economy, something Trump had been emphasizing in his speeches. Trump turned to look at the chart, just as he always did, but this time something extraordinary happened. That brief glance, an action so small and routine, ended up altering everything in ways no one could have predicted. And here she was, getting recognized for just doing her job right. Trump paused, his gaze sweeping over the crowd. His expression had shifted from that of a confident speaker to someone who had experienced something profoundly transformative. The crowd, sensing the gravity of the situation, watched in rapt attention. "Emily here has been working behind the scenes at our rallies for years," he explained. "She's a computer technician responsible for managing all the technology that powers our visual displays, the screens, the charts, the graphics, all of them. That is Emily's doing." The crowd listened intently, their curiosity growing with each word. They were used to seeing the polished final product of these rallies, but rarely got a glimpse into the inner workings and the people who made it all possible. But Emily's role goes far beyond just managing our tech. Trump continued, his voice gaining strength as he spoke. "What she did, it's something I never thought I'd discuss in public, but it's a story that needs to be told." Emily felt a mix of emotions wash over her. Part of her was terrified of being in the spotlight, while another part felt a growing sense of pride. She had always taken her job seriously, putting her heart and soul into every task, no matter how small, but she had never imagined that her work could have such a profound impact. Trump paused, his gaze sweeping over the crowd. His expression had shifted from that of a confident speaker to someone who had experienced something profound, transformative. The crowd, sensing the gravity of the situation, watched in rapt attention. "What I'm about to reveal," Trump said, his voice thick with emotion, "will bring you to tears. You see, when I turned to look at her chart," he continued, Something happened that changed everything. A gunshot rang out. Someone tried to take my life. But that moment, that exact second, when I turned my head to look at the chart, saved me. The audience gasped collectively, their shock palpable. A wave of astonishment rippled through the crowd as they processed the gravity of Trump's revelation. The once vibrant noise of the arena was replaced by a stunned silence. Trump's gaze returned to Emily, and the gratitude in his eyes was unmistakable. "That bullet," Trump explained, his voice steadying as he recounted the event, "was aimed right at my head. But when I turned to look at the chart Emily had created, it only grazed my ear. If I hadn't turned at that exact moment, I wouldn't be standing here today. She saved my life." The crowd remained in stunned silence for a moment before a wave of applause erupted. The clapping grew louder and more fervent, resonating through the stadium like a powerful storm. Emily was deeply moved as she absorbed the magnitude of Trump's words. What had appeared to be a routine part of her job had now become the focal point of a life-changing event. As the applause continued, Trump looked at Emily with a genuine smile. "You know," he added, "not only are you an incredible person, but you're also a computer genius. Your skills and quick thinking played a critical role in saving my life." Emily, visibly moved by Trump's praise, managed a shy smile. The enormity of the situation, as well as the heartfelt recognition she received, was overwhelming. As the applause continued, Trump turned to her with a final gesture of encouragement. "Would you like to say anything to the audience?" he asked, his tone gentle and inviting. Emily, feeling the weight of the moment and thousands of eyes upon her, took a deep breath. Her voice, though soft and somewhat hesitant, carried through the stadium. "Hi," she said, her words barely above a whisper. The simplicity of her greeting contrasted with the gravity of the situation, eliciting a warm and appreciative response from the crowd. Trump placed his hand on Emily's shoulder once more, a gesture of gratitude and support. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is what America is about. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things." Emily here didn't set out to be a hero, but her dedication to her job and her attention to detail made all the difference. The crowd's enthusiasm was palpable, their cheers and applause filling the stadium. Trump's words had struck a chord, reminding them of the unpredictable nature of life and the impact that even the smallest actions can have. With a final note of encouragement, Trump watched as Emily stepped back from the stage, her face a mixture of relief and disbelief. She'd have been thrust into the spotlight and had faced the moment with quiet grace. As Emily made her way off the stage, the audience's applause continued, a testament to the profound impact of her actions. The story of her heroism and the miraculous turn of events was now an indelible part of the evening's narrative. The crowd's appreciation for Emily was not just for her technical skills, but for the extraordinary role she had played in a life-or-death scenario. In the days that followed, Emily's story became a topic of widespread discussion. News outlets across the nation highlighted the tale of how a simple chart had played a crucial role in averting a tragedy. The media coverage was extensive, and Emily found herself the subject of admiration and curiosity. The story resonated with people across the country. It wasn't just about politics anymore. It was a human story, one of chance, fate, and the extraordinary impact of ordinary actions. Social media buzzed with discussions about Emily and her inadvertent heroism. Memes and hashtags sprouted up, celebrating the chart that saved a president. Trump, meanwhile, made it a point to keep Emily's story alive at every subsequent rally. He took the opportunity to recount the tale of the young woman who had saved his life. He spoke of how a single glance at a chart had diverted a deadly bullet, using her story as a powerful testament to the impact of seemingly small actions. For Emily, The attention was both exhilarating and overwhelming. She had always been content to work in the background, finding satisfaction in a job well done. Now, she found herself thrust into a role she had never anticipated, that of an inspiration to others. As the weeks passed, Emily gradually adjusted to her new reality. She continued her campaign work, managing the technical aspects of the rallies, but now there was a new dimension to her role. She became a symbol of the unexpected ways in which ordinary people can have an extraordinary impact. Trump's words continued to resonate in Emily's mind. "You saved my life." They served as a constant reminder of the unpredictable nature of fate and the importance of every decision, no matter how insignificant it might seem. The experience had transformed her perspective, highlighting the extraordinary ripple effects of seemingly routine tasks. In quiet moments, Emily often reflected on the chain of events that had led to that fateful night. The rally had not only highlighted her contributions, but also underscored the incredible twists of fate that can alter the course of history. She thought about the hours she had spent perfecting that chart, making sure every detail was just right. At the time, it had seemed like just another task, another piece of the complex puzzle that made up a presidential campaign. Now she understood that there was no such thing as just another task. Every action and decision carries the potential for profound consequences. It was a realization that both humbled and empowered her. As time went on, Emily's story became more than just a tale of a near-miss assassination attempt. It became a parable about the value of hard work, the importance of attention to detail, and the unpredictable ways in which our actions can impact the world around us.